New York Republican Congressman Mike Lawler now is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Great to see you today. What was incumbent upon the president to do in this regard? Did he take the steps? And where is Massey coming from on this unconstitutionality?
Well, thanks for having me, Harris. I fundamentally believe the president made the right decision to strike at Iran's nuclear facilities and eliminate this threat. The reality is Republicans and Democrats, presidents and members of Congress have made clear for decades, going back to when the Ayatollah first took control of Iran, that they could not have then or now a nuclear weapon. And ultimately, the president made a decisive decision, and I fully support it. To my colleagues who are saying it is unconstitutional, where were they when Barack Obama struck Libya? Where were they when he struck Syria or Pakistan or Yemen? They were nowhere because the hypocrisy of this is just glaring. The fact is the president, through Article 2, as well as through multiple AUMFs, has the authority to make this type of limited strike. If we are to go to war, yes, of course, Congress would have to be involved. But it has been clear through prior administrations, Republican and Democrat, that the president has the authority to take this action. The president utilized that authority, and he was right to do so, given the threat that has been posed. Iran has made clear over the last year plus that they are willing to use ballistic missiles. They are willing to strike indiscriminately, targeting civilian populations. And people have to remember, there are over 700,000 Americans living in Israel at a given time. Right. So these are serious issues that we are dealing with.
General Jack Keane has been marveling, as so many have, particularly in the military, with long careers, looking at what President Trump was able to pull off with Operation Midnight Hammer. Let's watch.
Listen, for the last week or two has been focused on this operation, and yet it didn't leak. The deception helped considerably in that, in terms of the missile. I mean, the planes flying initially west, but the actual planes flew east to the target. I think the president contributed to the deception operation as well when he said, well, I'm going to make a decision in a couple of weeks. The truth of the matter was the decision was already made or made very close to that statement he made.
We both had the kind of the standout favorite highlight in all of that, how they went in opposite directions. What stands out to you at this moment in history now?
Well, I think what is imperative to understand and to remember is that the president gave Iran the opportunity to negotiate an end to their nuclear program. He gave them 60 days. They refused to act. On day 61, Israel took action, and the United States finished the job. And I think what folks should remember is that President Trump did not start this. He did not ask for it. He wanted to give peace a chance. He wanted to give diplomacy a chance. Iran chose not to. They chose to continue to pursue nuclear weapons, and now they deal with the consequences of that. So this was a remarkable mission. Our military deserves all of the credit. It was perfectly executed, and the president made the right decision.
And you said through Article 2 plus multiple AMUFs, he had the Constitution behind him to do that. Great to see you, Congressman.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.